Hi, welcome to Chapter 8 of a series of short videos on Hippo, the Performance Profiling Capacity Planning tool for Informatica. So this is option 8 here in our Hippo menu on the left hand side of the screen. And if we click on Analysis, you can see there are 4 options: Folder Analysis, Top Workflows, Top Sessions and Trending. Let's select Folder Analysis, and Hippo asks us which repository we'd like to find the folder in. So we have only one here, RepoDev, so we select it. And we select folder from the drop down. We're going to select a folder called Lee, and then we go to the folder, and Hippo presents us with a summary of the activity in this folder over the time period that we've selected in our date and time picker up above. So I've selected previous month for my analysis, and what we're seeing here is all of the activity in this folder over the past month. So we're seeing elapsed time by workflows, which are the workflows that are consuming most of the Informatica time in our folder here. What are the folder metrics? What are the failures versus success statistics looking like? And let's look at concurrent executions by node. So where in our environment is this folder executing its workflows and sessions, and what kind of concurrency decisions are being made about that? So we get a profile here. We only have one node in our environment. It could be that you're actually hoping you've got a multiple node environment and you're hoping to be making some pretty clever use of that in order to balance load across your environment. Here is where you would see what's happening there. You would see how much concurrency there is, and therefore how much contention there is for resource, and you can better adjust your scheduling decisions with that information. Over here we see data movement by workflow. So of the workflows in the folder called Lee, which are the ones which are moving data around, and when are they moving data around? We get a profile, a fairly definite profile of that over the past month in this environment. And then finally we see source row movement. So where are we processing source data in our environment? Which nodes are taking the load here? Again, we only have the one node, so we're processing on there, but we can see a definite pattern in the amount of source data that's processed over the course of the month. So that's the analysis section. Let's look at top workflows. Top workflows is intended to help you identify which workflows you should be spending your time remediating in order to improve performance or to reduce their consumption of your valuable Informatica capacity. Now you can again choose your date and time in order to decide which period you'd like to analyse for, and you can also add filters. So you can focus in on a particular project, particular grids, nodes, hosts, domains, services and repositories. Now, when used in a normal production environment, this would almost entirely be used with an individual project, so that you can focus in on which are the most resource hungry and longest running workflows in your environment, because if you need to make that project run more efficiently, be more performant, then those are the workflows you need to target. So Hippo displays the top 10 workflows by elapsed time, top 10 workflows by rows processed, the top 10 workflows by cache size, by time to first row, and by CPU time consumed. Now, there's no individual metric which indicates poor performance, but the combination of these different types of analysis will help you identify which of these kinds of costs you need to address in your environment. Okay, we did a similar thing for top sessions. So for top sessions, again, Hippo analyses the top 10, and when we identify a session which we feel we should be looking at in more detail in order to obtain a performance improvement, then we can drill down straight into it from this screen. So let's take small delay 60. When we click on that, we get straight down into a detailed analysis in the Hippo context specific task menu, which gives us a detailed analysis of transformations of data movement, resources, task trends and history. We can also look at the workflow itself in terms of execution, workflow trends and workflow history. But let's go back to analysis. That's what I'm talking about here in this particular chapter. So let's go back to top sessions. So again, sessions by elapsed time, by rows processed, time to first row, sessions by throughput. So that's the number of rows per second. Where are we achieving high throughput? Where are we achieving very low throughput? And sessions by CPU time. Which are the sessions that are consuming most CPU time in our environment? So that's analysis, top sessions, and finally we have trending. Trending focuses on activity by node. So we can look at our multi-node Informatica environment. We can make sure that our scheduling decisions are in agreement with how Informatica is spreading and balancing the load across our environment. And we can look at what opportunities there are to improve performance, perhaps by repositioning certain workflows, or perhaps devoting particular nodes to particular projects. So as I say, we only have a single node here, so it leaves a certain amount to the imagination. But if you can imagine a multiple node environment, then this particular chart really comes to life. There's one chart which I skipped past, which is Informatica cache sizing by cache type. So there's 6 charts here, and 5 of them focus on nodes, and this 6th one focuses on Informatica cache sizing by cache type. Again, it's just to give you a different view of what's happening in your environment. So we aggregate up all of the caching over the entire period of analysis here, which is 1 month, and we look at where the memory resources are being used. You can see here that primarily they're being used in lookup caching, with a small amount of joiner caching and no other caches at all being created in this particular environment. In a normal production environment with high data volumes, again, this can give you a very interesting perspective, not just on how much memory is being used, but in the patterns of how that memory is used. Again, it can give you the information that you need to stop caches spilling to disk and to make better use of your available resource. So that's the analysis section within Hippo. It's intended to do a deep dive to get right down into the details of what's going on in your environment. It gives you a quite unrivaled and unique perspective on how load is being balanced and how resources are being consumed, and what your opportunities are to improve performance across your environment, as well as in the individual workflows and sessions which are the highest consumers of resource. So I hope this has been helpful, and you join me for the next chapter, chapter 9, where I focus on capacity planning. Thank you.